Ontario's premier, as we said, warning the federal government not to give any ground on protections for the agricultural sector as NAFTA negotiations continue. The comments come as Doug Ford arrives in Washington today to meet with trade officials. Joining me now with more is BNN Bloomberg's Jameson Burko. All right, Jameson, what do we make of this?
It seems like it's Ford trying to make his mark on the trade talks, just to show that he is directly involved and that he's having these face-to-face conversations with these federal leaders that are, of course, more involved in the talks and have been leading these talks for over a year now. So I think the hope is that he won't rock the boat too much during these appearances. I know we just heard from Adrian Morrow saying he's trying to limit his appearances and trying not to make that much of a splash, which isn't exactly his style, but it seems like that has the particular goal of trying not to undermine what have been months of efforts at this point.
Okay, what's ultimately at stake for Canada's agricultural sector, which Doug Ford seems to be really focusing on?
It's interesting because it's not as significant a sector, at least for Ontario's perspective, as, say, the automotive industry that we've been fighting tooth and nail to try and protect. But, I mean, I have been doing some digging. There's been some studies that say that if we were to just do away with supply management tomorrow, we could lose as many as 24,000 jobs, which is not exactly a drop in the bucket.
You know, and we were talking during the break that a lot of Canadians have been reassuring themselves that even if things go poorly, there's a backstop in Congress with so many allies of NAFTA and Canada within NAFTA in Congress that we shouldn't be too worried. But now we're seeing some cracks in that alliance, aren't we, with Steve Scalise's comments?
Yeah, he seems to be just kind of chipping away at that confidence independently. But independently is probably the key word there, I would say, Ben, because he doesn't necessarily represent the view of the majority of Congress. Of course, the Republicans in Congress have a very strong motivation to try and get some deal done before the midterm elections, which would explain the pressure they're putting on Canada. But I'd be skeptical that he would have really widespread support in both chambers of Congress at this stage.
Jameson Burko, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate all the work you're doing on this.
Thanks, Ben.